I have been taking a few months off of making videos, partially because I was busy over the summer and in the later half of the year with some travel to events and some personal stuff. Other part of it is that I have been working on the build that I want to play for the format because I do feel like the Edison format has been rapidly changing a bit across the last year, and it's become more and more aggressive, where aggression tends to reward you. Um, so, I've been playing in War League, and I had a really good replay that I wanted to show you guys, and it's with a new build that I'm working on. It's different than my previous build. This is a build with Prisma and everything in it. Um, so yeah, I figured I can do another replay review where we go over the build, or we go over the replay of what happened. And yeah, I'll eventually have a video with this build, but it might not be for a little while. I have the LDS event hosted by Yggdrasil in January in Raleigh, North Carolina, that I'm attending, and with the holidays and everything coming up, I still have like a lot of kinks to work out of this build, so I'd rather wait until I have like a finished product before making a video to show you guys. But in the meantime, I at least want to give you all some content. Um, anyways, going into this, this is for Edison War League for those who know about it. Um, um, and then so I knew going into this that my opponent was probably either on Vayu or Blackwings. So I kind of went into the matchup with that in mind. More likely Vayu though. Um, so I believe I lost the die roll. Yeah. Okay. Um, so since he set, and I already had a feeling this was Vayu, I am assuming that's a Raiko there. So I have 3 GBs in hand. Um, I am more likely wanting to throw Sam Knight into the fire. I play two of both Sam Knight and a Quest in this build. Um, a Quest, I feel like I'm more likely want to have an Quest back in my deck. Um, so I'm gonna summon Sam Knight here. And it was a Raiko. And obviously, this leads me to believe that it's Vayu. Um, I don't know what else it would be, right? Because you see the Raiko, right? But yeah. Um, and so there's a Vayu engraved. There's two darks. I have to keep all of that in mind. So I set 2 pass. Armageddon Knight. Necro. I'm not going to do anything about that. I can go through. Fortunately, I drew another GB. A little more GBs than I prefer, but it's fine. So now I need to summon to the back row. I'm going to summon the Equest. This build, I do play 2 Darius as well. So they were both options. But because Greffer is a card, I'd rather save my 1700 in case that ever comes relevant. I need to like crash to a Greffer or something later on. Yep, obviously he's going to Necro here. So I have Compulse and Prison. I'm feeling pretty fine. Plague. Now, there is like an option to Compulse or something here, but the play of synchroing for either a Brio or a Goyo, um, that puts 4 Darks Engrave. You can obviously stack Plague to get a third Dark Engrave to make those 3, and then like potentially summon a Dark Arm. But I do have Compulse, um, and if he does that, then like I can at least like Either if I want to chain compulse and dark arm, I can. I can use it on the synchro. Ultimately, there's not a ton I can do about that. I'm just gonna assume the dark arm's not there, depending on what he starts doing the rest of the turn. Um, and besides that, I feel pretty good about those back row into this. Okay, Brio. So it's fair to assume he's probably gonna pitch some number of cards as prio, and probably want to get a Sirocco engrave, and if it's in his hand. Okay, so we're definitely gonna chain the compulse here. Um, my quest is gonna for sure die, but at least Brio died, and um, and we can see where he's gonna go with his cards now. But I don't expect to like be dying this turn. I just might take a decent amount of damage. And again, my hand's not that bad. I have shrink, I have deep prison, so like I'm still doing fine overall. Okay. Assume he's gonna go for a Stardust then. Mm-hmm. It's a fair classic play versus GVs, and then yep, that puts the Synchro in a grave to make an Arm Master. So yep, that's definitely a fine field. Take the damage, and he opts to play around Gores, which works for me. I obviously don't have Gores in my hand, but I mean I do play Gores, so it's a fair thing considering they're both 2500s. Gores pretty much solos that field, so it's a fair response. It gives him a chance to test out what I do with my turn and see if he still thinks I have a Gores read or not. Okay, cool. Didn't draw another GB. Love that. So Darius. So obvious answer here is we're gonna do the damage step. Darius, swing, shrink, everything like that. Make sure he can't deep resin me, Book of Moon me, compulse me, all that stuff like that. This is I'm just communicating that in the chat that hey, I'm moving to battle step. Hey, I'm moving to damage step, and then yeah, we shrink. Since obviously he couldn't chain compulse to the shrink because damage step, he decides to compulse my Darius after the attack resolves, before the end of the battle phase, so I can't tag and kill the Armor Master. In phase 2, I'm just going to go ahead and set 2 and pass. Deep Prison. Okay. Again, I think that's probably a Raikou. So in this case, I'm summoning the Bestiari because I feel good about if there's a Raikou and if he targets Bestiari, having Bestiari engrave. So that's the route that I'm going for, why I summoned that. I believe, though, he did not target the Bestiari. Yeah, he didn't. Okay. So I was thinking a bit for it to go here. I could go for like Laquari, try to play around Sirocco. Um, there's 3 darks in grave, so if he draws Dark Arm, then like I need to make sure I have the Tiger out here. I believe I decided to go a quest just to keep up the advantage, and if he has like Sirocco or something big, so be it. I have ways to get over it, so. It was a Greffer, okay. Stratos is a very good draw here. So conveniently, I can just pretty for free run over this. And it puts a 4th Dark in his graveyard, which is great for me. It stops Dark Arm top decks. This game is beginning to look pretty over. Segitor. Lots of GVs, but it's okay. Segitor was going to be the one that I go into anyways. So Tiger, Segitor, Segitor, swing, swing. I believe I was out of a quest. There's one in graveyard, yep. So I couldn't quest. We're gonna Herc. And he did draw an out to Urk. He decided to run over. And remember, Stardust is gone, so he can't Stardust here, so it makes sense why he goes Dark End there. Okay, we drew Book of Moon. That's very helpful right now. So we're going to attack. We're going to Book of Moon. His stats go back up. I take 400. And we're going to tag Marmillo. And we just hope his back row is not return, which it wasn't, so we're good. Hit, hit. We didn't feel the need to chance Mirror Force Torrential. I mean, I assume it wasn't going to be Mirror Force, I guess, but not to chance Torrential. And then we summon, set, pass. Okay. Alright. Now in game 2, I believe this game, I did make a misplay this game pretty early, unfortunately. I do think I was pretty dead this game, though. I wasn't in an ideal opening spot. So I'll show you guys what went on. So he set pass. We decided to summon Retiari swing, because if that's Royal Oppression, I'd rather Retiari be the one that I lose. Well, it goes back to deck, right? So it's lower stat line. Yep, it's Oppression. Alright, so he's down 2,000, set 2 pass. Okay. Armageddon Knight Necro. Set back row pass. So summon, he bottomlesses, I trap stun, and I will have to let you know what went through my head here. I spaced out and did not think about the fact that I drew trap stun for turn. So right now when he bottomlessed and I trap stunned, I thought I really messed up here. Because he has Necro, so if I go attack, he banishes. And then now I'm forced to just like go Tiger to Bestiari to blow up the Oppression, and then pass. I didn't think about the fact that I could just attack, let the Necro be banished, set Trap Stun pass, and then Prisma Tiger next turn with Trap Stun live. That was a much better play, better than what I did here. So, and most of it was because I just spaced out and forgot that I now have a Trap Stun in hand, and I want to save my Tiger. So he heavies. I decide to Solemn, but again, I don't have any real protection here, so I'm pretty dead anyways if he goes over my guy, and I'm very dead here. So I very much need to draw a way out of this. And second Prisma is not a way out of this. So yeah, I might have still lost that anyways, but the way I played it definitely didn't help. So that was my fault, definitely. Alright. I feel good about this overall. So we're going to Liquori set 2 pass. The format has shifted in this direction of people are just more and more aggressive, and if you underset, like I used to do a lot of like set 1 passes all the time. I didn't want to overcommit. Or like set 2 pass, not summon the monster. I've felt more and more recently that people are so aggressive in their lines of play that you can't really afford to be behind on the monster turn a lot of the times. So I'm willing to summon the monster first turn, especially with the chariot down, right? There's opening plays like Armageddon Knight, things like that. So that's why I opened like this. If he has heavy, he has heavy, so be it. There's a good chance also if he has heavy, the play to get over my guy, unless it's like a Sirocco, it's probably going to be like a Greffer play to try to get a big sinker out, and I could just crow it, and potentially all of a sudden he can't even answer my Laquari that turn. So crow helps with the decision as well. So we book this right away, um, because I know there's a possibility that he has Gale in his hand, and I just don't need that to be any line of play that happens right now. So we're just not gonna chance it because if he attacks, I'm gonna need a book anyways. If he has Gale, I'd rather just not see that happen, even though I have Chariot. Okay, so I drew traps on this turn. Unfortunately, I don't already have traps on set, so now I have to wonder, does he have oppression down? So we're gonna test the waters. Right now, if he bottomless is right here, I'm not that mad about it. Bestie's obviously a very good card. I'd miss out to Geyserus, but I'd know that the Sirocco swing is safe, and I'd know that I'm safe to. I'd also know that I am safe to Tiger the Laquari into a Segutor if that was a bottomless. Obviously, I just hovered over it. It is an oppression. But so because he did not do anything to the bestiary, I know it's not a bottomless. So now it's either like compulse because we've seen he's played that before. It's compulse, deprison, mirror force, torrential, or oppression, right? So I think what the best way to go about this is I'm going to test out the oppression, and if it's not oppression, and it's a compulse, the tiger goes 1 for 1. If it is not an oppression and it is a mirror force or a prison, the tiger lets me pop the back row so I don't run into anything. Either way, I don't want to fuse these two right now into an oppression or into a compulse either, because I just lose all my GBs that I have, right? So like I don't want that to happen. This hand's pretty dead if both GBs are just to the deck, right? So we just can't chance it. So we special Tiger and we use Tiger effect to target Bestiari. This forces the oppression off of him after he thinks about it, because I could just resolve Bestiari, pop this back row. So now I'm just going to swing over. And next turn we can answer oppression. We're just going to chariot that right away. Now he doesn't have a synchro that he can make under oppression, especially since I didn't have a way to stop the attack. So this is like a perfect answer for that right there. And next turn, ideally, I can like stun, blow up oppression, get back chariot, be in a great spot. So he knows that. He decides to bring control. Well, he doesn't know the stun part, right? Probably just wants to get guys off my field. So that's absolutely fine. Now, great for me. I drew Tiger here. That's probably one of the best draws I could draw here right now, too. So I think about it for a little while, and I figure out that the best line is going to be to Tiger, stun for Sekitor. It's just a matter of what I want to do with the Sekitor, right? So I have Chariot, Bestie, and Grave. He has those two in Grave. So I opt for an interesting line here. I decide that we don't actually need to answer the oppression, because his life is pretty low, and Herc plus oppression should just win the game, especially with a chariot. So right now, the only things now I'm worried about are Raiko or Gale, because he can't Dark Arm me with an oppression up. He can't Sirocco special Gale. He needs to normal Gale, and that doesn't even answer the Herc. It makes him 1500. He can't Sidra me if he sides Cyber Dragon. He can't special Greffer and then like sack for a Caius or anything like that. So the oppression now puts him in a very bad position because I'm the one with a 3K that's negating stuff. And I have the extra insurance of Crow in my hand if I need to stop something in grave, like Plague or something. So because of the Crow and the Chariot, I decided that, yeah, sure, I can. I thought about it for a bit, but I can let Arm Knight through. I don't need to chance anything. I need to make sure Chariot can out like a Gale or a Raikou if it comes up. Because I don't plan on tagging anytime soon because of oppression. Yep. And again, I could do something about that. I have Crow, but why do I need to do anything about this? It's not like this deck plays Kalute. He's already used his normal summon, right? So, I decided to attack here because it's more damage. And the goal is I want to put him under oppression's cost. So now I can freely tag. So if I can get another 1,000 off of him, that would be ideal. I have Chariot, even if he has like a Caius or something like that. So like I'm very safe right now. He ultimately just has to do that pass. So we're going to try to get his two guys off the field. I don't need him to be stalling with his guys. And we're ahead anyways. Okay, Sirocco over Darius, that's fine. Okay, and this cat should be game winning, because when you math it, if I cat and use the effect, if he pays 800 for oppression, I just swing over with Herc for exactly 1,000. And that's what happens here, and he realizes what's going on, and he scoops. So yeah, that is that match. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know that's different than the content, or at least the GB type of content I've had on my channel recently, because it's a Prisma build. But I've really enjoyed this build, and messing with I'm messing with how to go about it. You might also notice that the deck count is actually a 45 card deck. I'm working on some interesting stuff. Is all I can say with my deck list for North Carolina. So, but yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys like this. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, I won't have the updated list video for a while because I'm still working on it. But I thought this was a really cool replay and maybe a little bit informative to go over. So, yeah. Besides that, I hope you guys have a really good rest of your day.